Hi everyone. I have decided that I am now going to do the secular Bible study through YouTube because I've had multiple issues with technology through, I don't know, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I feel like I can record them here and then and put them on there. Anyway, that's not why you're here. You are here because you want to join me for secular Bible study. So today's video is just an intro video. I'm going to talk to you about the book that I'm going to be using, that we're going to be going through, and I'll talk a little bit about what the plan is for this Bible study. And so if you don't care about any of this, if you just want to jump into just start the videos, the next one we're going to record is Genesis 1 through 4. We are going to go through the Bible piece by piece, little bits at a time. We're going to go through the whole thing. There might be some that we just kind of touch upon a little bit, but we don't go into detail on. And then there's some of those stories that that we've been taught through churches, through religions, that I think are worth going into with a lot of detail, right? And like really seeing like what is it that people are interpreting to mean in a certain way, and do we want to interpret it that way, and are there other sources for a story like this, and do we have opinions on do I actually agree with what my priest told me it meant, or my sister, what was my sister Catherine? No, Sister Catherine was my high school teacher. Anyway, I had a nun for a kindergarten teacher who taught us a lot about especially Genesis, right, that creation story. So I am using, I'm going to be on my Kindle. I have the King James Bible in what? In real life. I got the King James version of the Bible, which is, I've said this many times before, it is bizarre. It's so hard to read. I was gonna just use this and go through the Bible, but then I literally don't even understand sometimes what they're trying to say. And I am a person who understands language very well, and I didn't understand a lot of it. So what I did was I got the King James Study Bible here on my Kindle, which is very nice. It goes through, it gives you a little intro to the chapter, and it talks to you about some of the history, and then it also lays out the Bible verse by verse. So we'll be using that quite a bit, and then whatever resources we think we're going to need, right? So if you know that we're coming to Genesis 1 through 4, if you want to do a little study before you jump onto the video and then leave some comments, we would love that. I would love that. I would love to see what your thoughts are, what your feelings are. I'm going to see if I can live stream for some of these. Hopefully I can. That'd be way more fun to chat with you in real time. But you know, technology, I am really good at technology, but these live stream things are for folks who do it all the time, and maybe I'll get better at it later. Who knows? But either way, I want to have a conversation. I want these to be a conversation. I do not want you to take my word for anything. We are just reading a book, right? We're going to read a book together. We're going to have our opinions together. You can argue with me, you can disagree with me. I would love that, because really reading through some of the Bible, let's be honest, people have very specific interpretations of what it means. Some people take it word for word to be the truth. Some have followed different religious organizations to tell them what a chapter, what a verse means, and which ones are the most important that they need to take word for word, and which ones we take as a parable, right? This didn't really happen. It's just kind of an idea, a story to teach you a lesson. So I was raised in the Catholic Church in upstate New York. So the way that I was taught certain things, the Bible versions that I was taught, might be different than yours. If you are coming from a different, maybe not Catholic, maybe Christian, maybe a different Catholic interpretation, maybe, I'm not sure which religions also follow the Bible, but this could be really fun for you as well. I would love to hear, is because I know that like the Mormon Church, some stories are similar, but I don't think, as far as I know, I don't think they use the Bible specifically. You know, probably not the King James version. I think it's called the Book of Mormon. But if there's similar stories that we could look at together, I think that would be super fun as well. I would love to hear different religious opinions, ideas, stories. You know, how they're different, how they're similar. So I've got scheduled for next week, Friday. We'll look at Genesis 1 through 4. I've already done that on Instagram, but that's all right. Genesis 1 through 4 is delightful, and I would love to go through it again with you. It is the, let's see, the creation story. Let's look at my study version. Genesis 1 through 4 is primeval history. It says it's the creation of the world, the story of man, and then also we talk about Noah and the flood. So there's some really fun, really fun stories in. Oh, I'm sorry. No, Noah and the flood starts with 5. So we'll get up to Noah and the flood in chapters 1 through 4, and then the week after we will look at Noah and the flood, the events after the flood, and a little bit of the descendants of Noah and the Tower of Babel. Babel. I don't know how you actually say that. And so in the next 2 weeks, we'll get through chapters 1 through 7. And then we'll see where we're going to go from there. So I am using the, what did I call it? The KJV Study Bible. The King James Study Bible. Let me see if I can find an author for you. I'm assuming that there's more than one of these. Thomas Nelson has written this one. So if you want to follow along with me with this particular book, King James Version Study Bible, we'll be using this one. And I'm getting it from the library. I'm assuming I can just keep borrowing it from the library. If not, I guess I'll have to buy it at some point, but check your local library. You might not even have to buy this book to follow along with me. What else? Anything else? Do you have any questions? Anything you'd like to see happen during this Bible study? Any particular stories that you are interested in and looking forward to? There's a couple stories that I'm interested in looking at in more detail. There's like the Easter resurrection story that I'm interested in looking at in more detail. There's obviously the creation story, but we'll get right into that right away. There's a couple of parables and psalms that I've just heard over and over again so many times, but like the Catholic like retelling of it, I've heard so many times. So I don't know. Are they the same? Like, do I even have that right? I don't know. And then I'm very curious, like, as we go through, where do some of the teachings from the Catholic Church even come from? Where do and forgive me because it's been a while, and I purposefully what's the right word? Dumped some of these memories from my elementary school learning and high school learning. I got rid of a lot of those. I made some space for myself in my own brain. So I don't remember a lot of the things. We're going to relearn some of those things. I might, one of the things I wanted to do was maybe look up like a workbook for Catholic elementary school religion classes. I think that could be fun, right? There's like the vocations, possible vocations in the Catholic Church. There's like, where do we get the rule that a priest can't marry? Like, where do some of these things come from, right? What about purity, right? Like at what point is it in the Bible that women are supposed to like cover themselves so that we don't tempt the eyes of man in some way, right? Is it in the Bible that we're supposed to wait till marriage before we have sex? Like what things are actually in the Bible? Where do some of these things come from? It's so curious. I'm excited. I think we're gonna have a great time. And I cannot wait till we get to Leviticus, because that, my friends, it's just we're going to take our time through Leviticus, and then we'll see what other books take us a long time and which ones we skim through, right? Because I do want to touch on all of them, but for sure Genesis we're going to have a good time with. Leviticus we're going to have a great time. And I know some of the New Testament, some of the Psalms, woo, those are interesting. But we'll get there. So let me know, what do you want to do? What are you interested in? Give me all the news, give me all the feedback. And I will see you next week, Genesis 1 through 4.